bigger than you think. This is a part 2 video from yesterday that I launched when I came home. I made a couple of videos. Everyone was saying, "Oh, you're saying too much." I had to get the news out to you. This second case, this is it's bigger than you think. And I got it in before the inauguration because they didn't want that. They didn't want to see this coming in, to be honest with you. I had filed on the first day after the judgment. I had filed more documents in and nobody knew, and I tried to activate them yesterday on a new to reopen my case on this new evidence, but I could see that it would be stopped, and which I didn't want either, because it was on train to Supreme Court. So it was a good move to open up a brand new case yesterday morning. So we said no to the first one, and then it's a lawsuit. You can't deny me my rights. So that went well. Now, it couldn't stop the inauguration, but it was filed before the inauguration, and I did speculate that if the case was won, that would cancel the inauguration and the whole election process. So to answer your comments, people down below, if any of these cases win, it would be a rerun for the presidential election. But also, my understanding of it is that the Taoiseach would have to ask the Taoiseach to resign. It would probably dissolve the government, and you'd be looking at a general election as well. So it's quite big. And the Supreme Court case, the Byrne versus Taoiseach, what you have to understand, and a lot of people don't understand, is something called case law. Because myself and Stacks have both lost in our cases in the High Court, when something else happens political or constitutional and the other side say, well, it's just political, and they go to court and they reference Byrne versus the Taoiseach or Stack versus the Taoiseach as case law, which means this has already been discussed and lost, and it means that the judge doesn't revisit the content. It's already been decided in the High Court. That's a very bad precedent. So it means that if they do something outside the Constitution, they can just say, it was political. Can't have that. There's so many different things that they can go that would touch the Constitution, and they just refer to that. The Supreme Court, for the first case, it has to be sorted. The second case now, they weren't expecting that. I didn't know it. I'll be honest with you, it was only a member of Team Stacks who's working in the background and sending me information, kind of stumbled across it and sent it to me, and I looked at him and went, hold on a second. Mr. Brown ordered an election order, which was the actual election order, and that has been ruled beforehand that you can't interfere with that. So I said, wow. I'd say a lot of members in government might have known that. I'm assuming the Attorney General would have known it, and the President-elect might have known it, that you can't interfere with the main election order. So this is bigger than you think. And the case itself can expand. I can pull in witnesses and the defendants and cross-reference and examine them with respect. Like, I can't make a show of them, but there's just questions here that needs to be answered. And Heather Humphreys has said it was an executive order as well. So that's all coming in around the time the Supreme Court on the other case is due. So it's bigger than you think. So it could go really well. A lot of people are I've lost faith because they think, we've lost and it's gone. No, it hasn't. They may proceed in the front, but if any of this passes in the background, it's game over. It's reset, restart. So T-shirt came in from Reclaim the Faith podcast, John Connors. I got it there last 2 weeks ago. I seen it. Nice guy, good message, good story. Said I'd grab it. So there you go. Reclaim the Faith podcast T-shirt. I think people are exactly like this message. I don't want people losing faith and losing hope just because something's going forward that they've lost. There's a lot of people saying, well, she got 20% or 20-something% of the votes. Yeah, but there wasn't many options. There's a lot of people that don't spoil their vote. They think they'll just choose one or the other. There's a lot of people uninformed. Look at what happened to Jim Gavin. If it comes out like the president-elect is a barrister she's political. She would have known that that was wrong, a wrongful order, something like that. You know, that 20% could seriously become 5-10%. They're saying it was a young vote. So, you know, if the older voters got behind a proper candidate, you know, you can imagine that there'd be discussions would happen, and you'd be surprised on a rerun. So yeah, but I'm not here even about that. It's about the law. As I said to the judge yesterday, I said, I put it like this. I said, we're heading to stormy waters, because they talk maritime law. So I said, we're heading to stormy waters. Sorry to have to bring this upon the court, but the fact of the matter is there's decisions here that are being made, and our rules of law are black and white. And at the moment, there's a lot of grey areas coming up. And I said, these need to be sorted going forward. And we need to know, you know, and we can't have members of government just acting like God and acting outside or even touching the Constitution. So that's what I'm bringing forward, and that's what I'm sticking at. So yeah, we'll keep going, guys. Sorry about the long video. It's just people are asking questions, so obviously I'm not giving enough information, but then other people are saying, oh, you're putting too much information. So where do you win, you know? But I hope this helps. I hope it answers a few more questions, and I'll keep going, and I'll keep you up to date. All right, cheers, bye bye.